name is Larry Hernandez, and this is a demo workshop webinar on how to leverage AI tools, mostly free AI tools, to do what we do, the steps in the executive search process. We are constantly getting more and more work thrown at us. And so, not all of us have the luxury of having a research team or a bunch of sourcers. Sometimes we get thrown into different positions, maybe to cover for a colleague. And so quickly ramping up and attacking these tasks is key. Now, I've been doing this for about 25 years, and Recruiter DNA is my firm. We do research and retained search. And I've, started off in the agency world and moved into RPO, Accenture. I think Kimberly Clark at the time kind of outsourced all their work to Accenture. And so that was my kind of bridge from doing, at Robert Half, mostly doing, hourly and contingent searches, moved into RPO, and then, finally moved over to USAA. And that started my in-house journey. Now I've been blessed to be able to work for some really, really big brands that really take care of their clients and have pretty sophisticated talent acquisition processes. And so I was at Zappos in Vegas, and I started the first sourcing team and program there. Coming from USAA to Zappos, that was a big shock as far as corporate culture goes. For those of you who don't know, USAA is it's a military, basically a military base. Very conservative, very tightly, buttoned up. I'm sure it's changed over the years a little bit. And then I go to Zappos where, they're moving around in a shot cart during, at 10 a.m. in the morning. But both of them were big on obsessed with their customers and customer service. USAA and their members. Zappos is known for the customer service. And that taught me a lot when it comes to recruiting. The intangibles. But so anyway, so I've got to work with Microsoft as a contractor for 13 months on the diversity tech sourcing team. And most recently, I was at Twitter until Mr. Elon Musk came and let a lot of us go. And so I came back and kind of reinvented Recruiter DNA. And for the last few months have been, heads down learning the retained search process through a program. And if you want to hear more about that, just ping me and I'll give you the information. But it's just fascinating. So let me kind of move on here. So you're seeing this through the Everything Recruiter community. So I've tried, Recruiter DNA started in 2011 as a community for, recruiters. I realized I was thirsty for knowledge, but not a lot of recruiters were sharing their information. Kind of comes from the agency side, right? Like we got to make our numbers. Maybe sharing my best stuff isn't the best thing to do. So I was always hunting and searching out for like-minded people who would share. So since I've rebranded a Recruiter DNA to do my research and retained search, I've rebranded the community as the Everything Recruiting community. So that's this. And so this is a free community to join. I think if you're watching this, you kind of had to at least create an account. So, myself and others will be posting tips and tricks. I'll be doing demos of the latest software for sourcing, recruiting. And then there's some paid courses, some free courses. And it's also a great way to connect. I've got several new clients and a couple of jobs just from networking with these people. So that's a big thing. Feel free to join Everything Recruiting. Okay, so why are we here? Like I said, 25 years up until AI, the internet was the biggest shock to the system that I got to witness right when I started. When I started, there was no internet in the office. Hard to believe. There was no mobile phones in the office either. And I remember what's similar is I remember the headhunters saying, oh, this internet thing, that's, you got to be on the phones. Forget this internet thing. And then email came out. No, that's a waste of time. They wouldn't even allow us to count that as activity, emails and internet searches. That was not part of the activity. Obviously, that did not turn out to be the case. I'm feeling the same thing with AI. I feel this, I think it may be just a personality. I study personalities a lot of the candidates and our hiring managers for culture and work style, but there is something innate in a group of confident entrepreneurs and successful recruiters and salespeople that they don't like change and they don't like things being reshuffled in their mind. Like, I learned this, I don't want to relearn this. So anything new, I tend to push back. But I will tell you this, there is nothing like it since the internet. Okay, this is what we thought the internet was going to be. So this is the moment. I don't know how many years you have left in your career, but if you push back and don't jump into this, I promise you, you will be left behind. I'm already seeing it now. So I'm glad you're here. That's the first step. I'm glad you're watching this. I'm learning every day. Everything I learn, I share with you. So we're going to go over, I don't know how much you know and how much you use AI tools, but we're basically going to show you, I'm going to show you Chat GPT, which you can get for free. I have the paid version of $20 a month, which I encourage you to do because it gives you access to some cool tools. In Chat GPT, they came out with what's called custom GPTs. And all that means is you're kind of harnessing the power of these AI tools, but you're going to train it and have a lot more control over it. So you can teach it to do things that you want to do, and that information stays private. Also, I've been blown away in the last year over the Chrome extension. So there's a couple of free Chrome extensions that let you take the power of ChatGPT and all the other different brands, Claude, Gemini, Copilot, lets you take it with you. So if you're on LinkedIn, if you're in your ATS, your CRM, if you're on YouTube, if wherever you're at, you just click a button. And I'm not sure if you can see this here. Yes, you can. So I just popped up Harpa AI, which is my favorite tool. And you've got all these amazing tools right at your fingertips. This is actually a separate class, but let me know if you're interested because this is magic. Harpa AI is. And then Merlin and Max AI are very similar. I just happen to like Harpa AI better. At the end of this, I'm going to post it to the comments right now. At the end of this, I've created a post in the community, and you're going to have all the links and tools that I talk about. And then that way you can ask me questions. We can have discussions. You can add, you could say, oh, you could show me what you're using. So that's great. So in the link right now, after the workshop, you can go there. I don't think we're going to have time for this, but I wanted to mention it. An advanced stage of, well, building custom GPTs is advanced. It's not hard, but it's a little tricky. Turning those custom GPTs into chatbots so that everyone has access to this knowledge is amazing. How many times have you been on Teams or Slack or back in the day, the F drive or where do I find everything? Well, now you can just connect all of the information, all of your company's information that you want to share. Just upload it and then tell these chatbots or ChatGPT, become the expert in this. And then it creates a little chat. So that way, when the new employees come in or you're working on a search and you can just say, have we ever worked with this company? Instead of going to the drives, going to Teams, going to Slack, going to the old ATS, it's just like, have we ever worked with a client in this industry? Yep, here it is. And you're actually, it sounds silly now. Within a year, everyone's going to be doing this. But right now, not everyone's doing that. So that's really cool. And you can do a lot of things with this. I've created chatbots that are, I uploaded my resume, my cover letter, and then I gave it some rules. And then now people can just chat with my experience, chat with my resume. And that's something that I'm going to go over here next. The biggest thing, and I touched on it a little earlier, is a mind shift. It's a shift in your mindset, okay? If you are fighting technology, let that be a red flag to yourself and say, wait a minute, maybe I'm attacking this wrong. Maybe I'm, and the fact that you're on this is a good step, but I see this a lot. Out of the box, right now as we sit in today, most of these tools that have found their way into LinkedIn, into our CRMs, our ATSs, they're not show ready. They're not ready yet. They're just getting them out there. Okay. Even Chat GPT and Claude are just not ready yet. They're not as intuitive as they need to be. So you need to understand that. And I am going to promote my paid class at the end, but I go over a module called the building a mega prompt. After taking a lot of prompt engineering classes and messing with Chat GPT thousands of hours, I realized that there is a system you need to do. You know, Chat GPT is, they say it's the smartest 3-year-old you've ever met. It knows all the encyclopedia. It knows every book that's ever been published, every song that's ever been written, every poem, every historical fact, every political debate, every video. It just sits there and it knows it. So if you know what to ask, you can access that information. The problem is we're not used to talking to information like this. We're used to a Google search. So the mind shift change I want you to do whenever you're using any kind of AI tool, number one is start with the end in mind. Before you get on there, think, what is the problem I'm trying to solve and what is my outcome? Okay. Second huge tip, don't think of it as technology. When you're on these tools, I want you to think of this as you are on Teams or Slack or in an email or on your phone, and you're chatting with a colleague that maybe you've never met in a different location. Okay. So you got to be patient with this colleague, right? You've got to be respectful, but if you need help, you jump on this chat and let's say someone says, oh, talk to Larry on chat. That's why a lot of AI bots and tools are named. They're trying to get you to have a conversation. Now, I'm going to show you what that means in a little bit, but that's a big mind shift. When you jump on Teams, you don't get, I mean, maybe you do, but you shouldn't get frustrated real quick. They don't know what you're talking about. Hey, Larry, I need your help on rec number 7784. What are you talking? Give me some context. And then what are you trying to do? Who are you? What are you trying to do? I cover that in the lesson of mega prompts. There's just a quick formula that gets the AI tools. Oh, I know exactly what you want. Okay. Now, some of the things, some of the keys, lessons I've learned over the last 18 months or however long it's been, 2 years since AI came out is, I hear a lot of individuals, whether you have your own agency, your own firm, or you work internally, everyone knows that you should be sharing content. Every professional recruiter needs to be posting, sharing, and interacting on LinkedIn, whether you like it or not. I'm not necessarily saying you have to only use LinkedIn to source, but you hear a lot about, I'm not sure if this has ever happened to you. It probably has. You're working with a client or you're internal, and a candidate that you talked to 18 months ago gets submitted by a competitor or an agency, and you're like, that's my candidate. Why didn't they think of me? Guess what? You're not top of mind. So as you connect with all the candidates and clients, you should be nurturing those conversations. And people tell me, I don't know what to share, Larry. Well, with these AI tools, it's very easy, seconds, to share and repurpose content. If you're on the outside, you can repurpose your client's content. If you're internal, you need to be doing the same thing because you're competing with somebody. And so that's another key point that I'm going to share. Okay, so let's kind of jump in so we can get off these slides. I want you to imagine that for whatever reason, you have been tasked with jumping into a new search. So if you're internal, maybe someone is sick or vacation. Larry, can you jump in? I know you don't usually do this desk, jump in. Or you're maybe a researcher or you work for an agency. And it's like, I need you to jump in. So for whatever reason, you're being forced to take on something that maybe you're not 100% comfortable with. A lot of us are in niches. How good are you at moving out of your niche? And so I'm using this example so we can go through some of these exercises. Okay. So that's a scenario. I've been thrown this job, not a lot of help. I'm on an island and I need to hurry up and get ready for a meeting, right? So I'm going to take this job description. Happens to be from Comcast. I have no association with Comcast. I just picked it for this example. Okay. So this is the job description. And, you know, whether you've been doing this for a long time or whether you're new to this, don't let your ego get in the way. Don't let this, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what they want, right? We've all seen the rookie come in and close a big deal. or make a success because they didn't overthink it or they had fresh eyes, right? So this is what I'm going to show you. So the first thing in the search, I need to get comfortable with this. And in my process, I like to, do a little bit of research and understand what is the heart of the matter. When this becomes search, what is my search criteria? What am I going to be measured with? How am I going to find the right candidates? So I take this job description and make sure you can see this. Yes. And by the way, I can't see comments right now. I mean, I can, but I'll get to them later. So I'm in Chat GPT. Okay. I have made a custom GPT, which I teach you how to do in the course. All a custom GPT is, I told you, is that I'm going to edit this for you. I have given this Chat GPT specific instructions. So it just does one thing over and over again. I can upload files. I can give it parameters, but this becomes just a workhorse at doing one thing. So it already knows context. It already understands, what I'm asking for. So I think I have here. I've got two screens here. I'm going to, I'm going to upload this job. And this is great because if you have been using ChatGPT for a while, we used to have to use extensions, but now we can just upload documents. I'm going to hit go. And so you notice that I didn't type anything, which is not a big deal, but it already knows because it's already been programmed. So hopefully right now you're seeing that my AI role classifier, now there's a caveat. I work on the AI roles, machine learning and data science. In this niche, it's very easy for roles to be mixed up. Amazon can say it's a data science manager when in reality, it's a machine learning engineer. So this can be programmed to do what you do, so don't get stuck on the actual technology, but just know that that's why this happens to be an AI job classifier. So right away, it kind of tells me, okay, this is a combination of 4 different roles, which is very helpful if I didn't know data science and AI. I'm like, okay, interesting. It gives me the criteria right here, the technical skills, no big deal, not a big deal. Here's where I think the magic is. I've programmed this to say, look at this job description. Now bounce it off of the standard data science manager role or the standard, these roles. So it's, what, Larry, this is a 40% match for your everyday data science manager. This is your 30% match for your everyday. So it breaks it down, which starts to build my search criteria. It starts getting me thinking, how am I going to source for this? It gets me ready for that brief with the hiring team, right? The final classification is this is a 40% data science manager. So we're not just looking for a data science manager. Only about 40% of it is there. Now just imagine if you had never done this job before, you have really saved some time, hours of time and a lot of anxiety and stress because now you're starting to say, I think I get this role. I have programmed this to kind of give me some questions to go ahead and gather requirements. This may be, you might ask the recruiter or internally, but this just kind of gets you going on what you should be looking for. Now, I'm going to stop here. This might not seem that amazing to you, but just think how much time this has saved me. And remember what I said in the beginning. I want you to have a conversation. So right now, I've uploaded a job description. So I'm going to have a conversation with this. Okay, think of it as a conversation. Imagine that I'm chatting with the recruiter that used to do this, right? So it says here, would you like a list of target companies? Yes, I would. Okay. So it knows that it's Comcast. It knows the criteria of the job. And I believe I've asked it to, yes. So it knows it's in Philly. It picked up that this role was in Philadelphia. Okay. This is kind of new. Just a few months ago, ChatGPT wasn't really connected to the internet and it's still a little wonky, but now I know here are some potential target companies that I can start with in this search. And it kind of tells me why, here's the relevant departments, right? And here's the industries that match. So very cool. So just in a few seconds, here's where you're at. I'm going to show you a demo of this, how this would look in ATS. This is Clockwork. And so in Clockwork, you have the job description. Here you build the research criteria. Okay. Executive search professionals, we do not want any, what's the word I'm looking for? We want to be very specific in our search criteria. Any leeway, any gray area, which I know exists, but if we can get rid of the variables, our search will be, the chances of it being successful are a lot higher. So here, from the AI tool, I got some search criteria that I can go over with the manager from, in our brief meeting. Now, what this is going to do, this is what I got from AI. As I talk to the manager, we can adjust this, right? But then this is going to drive my search. So if I hit a quality research button, every candidate on this search, I'm going to have to rate them on each of the criteria. Okay. So there's going to be no surprises every week when I'm talking to you as the client and said, look, we agreed on this criteria, right? And then, why am I looking at this candidate? Because they've got this information. So that's key, right? So let's keep going. Let's see. I'm going to have a conversation. I'm going to say, I'm just going to say create a sourcing string. Because this is a demo, I'm going real fast. But look how fast that was. So it's taken my search criteria. Let's see what else it's taken here. Very nice. So it's got skills, technical skills. So it just turned it into a search, right? Those of you who are not, I love building search strings. So those of you who are, I know there's a few of you on this stream who are sticklers, sourcers, they're with you. I'm not saying this is perfect, right? But this is a great start to hand off to your research team for you to poke around your ATS and to show, you got to build a sourcing strategy, right? So that we went from, I don't know this position to I know the competitors. I know what the role is. I got a target list in the area. I've got a sourcing string. Not bad. Okay. So that's, in itself, 3 years ago, this would be unheard of. This will take some time, right? Especially if you're new, especially if you're having maybe you're not, in the zone, but you need to get work done. This is really helpful to not start from a dead stop. All right. Let me see. Let me get back on track. We've done this. Let me check time. Go ahead and ask questions. We're doing good on time. I tend to go nuts and do other things. Okay. So now you start sourcing. We're going to fast forward. We're going to go forward in time. And now let's say you've got your first candidate. Okay. Joe candidate. Now, like I said, I feel kind of confident, but I don't know if this is a good match. And there's no one in my office to talk to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rely on another Chat GPT. Let's see here. Yes, here it is. So this is called a scorecard assistant. Once again, this is just a prompt that I made, and I've uploaded a resume and I've uploaded the job. I'm going to hit go. So what I've told this to do is analyze the job, look at this person, and I need to know if it's a match. I'm going to let you watch this while I take a drink of water. Now, this is pretty cool. Now, once again, I can hear some of you say, I don't trust it. That's good. Remember, you're working with an assistant or a peer. Okay, they're giving you this information. I still want you to go investigate it. AI makes mistakes. People make mistakes. So I want you to double check all of this, but this is pretty cool. Okay. So now if you were going to, if the client pinged you or walked in your office and said, where are we at? Let me see Joe. Why am I seeing Joe's resume? This is why. Okay. Now here it says here, like I've asked it to actually point out if there isn't anything specific, let me know. And here's this formula that I made. You can adjust it. This just kind of gives it some weighting. and you can adjust the weights, right? When you're in this area of the search, if a client says, you know what, data management, I don't care about it, or that's just a nice to have, you can adjust that weight into the formula, right? I'm not saying this is perfectly done for you. I'm just kind of demonstrating what can be done. Okay. So here is the final assessment. Joe C is, it's a strong candidate. Recommendation is to go to the next step. That's pretty slick, right? So you could just copy and paste this, right? Put it in your notes and send it over to whoever it is you're working with, or go on to the next candidate, right? Ultimately, since in Chat GPT, now you can upload multiple candidates or multiple files, I could have just uploaded all my candidates, let's say 5, 10, 15 candidates, and then had it run. And then everyone loves those Friday, update meetings. Like, oh no, I'm going to get on the call with the client. Maybe you were doing something else, but this is nice to have all this here. It's in your ATS. This conversation, by the way, is saved. You could share this conversation now. If you see at the bottom left, I have the company plan. So I could just shoot this at a team. I could just shoot this over to Mike and say, hey, what do you think, Mike? And now we can start having a conversation, kind of like we're in Slack or Teams, and we could all 3, 4, 5 people be working on this one conversation in Chat GPT. So that's really, really cool. Okay. Let's see. What else can we do here? Let me go back to my notes. Oh, yes. Okay. So let's just say, for those of you who work in a agency type scenario, this is an auditor ally, another Chat GPT that I made. And what this does, I put Comcast. Let's just say I want to know, before I get on the phone, what do people think about Comcast? Like, I don't know. This is a new search for me. So I've asked this Chat GPT to research lawsuits, anything that could be a red flag about the company that I, as a recruiter, might come up in a conversation, right? I mean, we've all been there. We're in the search. It's week 3. Why is no one getting back to me? We're a reputable company. Comcast has a pretty good reputation. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't, right? So this gives it, an overall B. But at least you're not going to be blindsided with, what is out there. Okay. Cause I've been in searches and I'm like, I did not know that the CEO was in a huge legal battle for this. So this is good. Just not to be blindsided. Talking points when you're talking to the leaders of your company, saying, look, this is out there. We need to address it. Okay. So I found that to be helpful. You could just cut and paste this on your ATS and put it under the client, right? And it's good for internal companies to know, maybe why are my colleagues, I've been in everything recruiter community and my colleagues are getting a 45, % response rate. Why am I only getting an 18% response rate? Could be my message. Could be my LinkedIn profile. Could be that there's something going on that you're not plugged into. So that's kind of cool. Okay. And I have one that also here on the left are all my Chat GPTs. I have one that Glassdoor does not like. I did this and Glassdoor blocked. Oh, good. It works. So it's hit or miss. So what this does is it does a Glassdoor analysis of your client or your company. Okay. So it's just scraping, reading, interpreting all the reviews on Glassdoor right now. This is real time, right? So here's some key indicators. Unprofessional. And I apologize if anyone's on Comcast. This is what it is, right? No company is perfect. Key indicators, toxicity. We might have some issues. There's even quotes here. Okay. Here's some red flags. So I have in the back end, I'll show you what this is. On the back end, here is the prompt. Okay. It's a pretty lengthy prompt and I've given it instructions on where to go and where to look. Okay. So that's interesting, right? Now we're on the phone with the candidate, Joe C. Okay. We're on the phone. A lot of you have a normal phone script that you use, or maybe it's a Zoom call, a video or Teams call. Now, remember, you're not used to talking to these individuals. So you're talking, you're hoping you're covering everything. How many of you are using awesome tools like MetaView or Quill or anything that records your meetings so you don't have to take notes. This has been a huge, huge game changer, in my opinion. Every time someone's talking, every time someone does a video, every time you're recording a meeting, that is content that can be analyzed. So all these companies have done is they're recording your call, like on this, like let's just say this was a Zoom call. At the end of this, I'll have a transcription. So and so these companies have come out where it takes the transcription and then it shoots out a candidate summary, right? I wish I was better organized. When you got back-to-back phone interviews and then a client meeting, I'm like, and you're sitting there typing, which is not the best experience. Okay. It is not. I've been there. Nothing like you being nervous candidate and you're on the call. Yes, yes. And the person's like this. Type. Tell me a time where you do this. Type. You're like, that sucked. I mean, this is a big deal to me. I know you do this every day, recruiter, but me as a candidate, So stop typing, stop taking notes, have your phone on, record as a backup, and have your Zoom, Teams, whatever it is, record. At the end of it, you will have a transcription. I love reverse engineering things. So I am a paid subscriber of MetaView, but I just thought, I wonder if I could just kind of hack, make my own MetaView. So here's a transcription that I got from a phone call, right? And of course, I made a GPT, but this is just a prompt, right? So here it is. I call it the recruiter interview summary. Okay, look, so this is just a document of my conversation. Let's see. This is all these GPTs I'm showing you aren't my production one. These are kind of things I use for training. So I have got a transcript from a call. Maybe my sourcer did the call, and I want to get to the they call it the one truth. I want to get right to the source. Just give me the transcript, or I can just log in to the account on the phone screens. Let's say I've outsourced it to a bunch of sourcers, and I don't want their analysis. I want to hear the conversation, right? And so I've cut and pasted the transcript, and now it says here's the role, here's where they work, and now I can actually talk to the transcription, right? And I'm not going to go over it, but I could just sit there and say, okay, what is the base? It already kind of says here, and then I could just say any red flags. Imagine doing this as a manager. Okay, so now it's saying, look, he's got a risk-taking mentality, and here's why. He mentioned, right, lack of notice period. He mentioned, emphasis on autonomy. Okay, so not everyone, like I said, I know a lot of you are like, I'm an executive recruiter. Hey, I've been doing this for 25 years. I miss some things. This is $20 a month, and I think you can do this for the free version. That's not bad to run your work through it, to have it formatted. And number one, consistency, right? How consistent are you? When you think of consistency, you probably think of templates and forms, right? How many times have you gone through a phone interview or a panel and you're like, oh, I know my boss or my client likes things a certain way. So like, I know when I work, I get the clients, I want to know, how do you want to see my information? Here's what we're going to gather. How do you want to see it? Well, that used to be a big pain in the butt. A lot of you that I've talked to are like, Larry, I ain't got time for that, right? They're going to get it the way they get it. Well, you got to be competitive. And if the client wants you to hit certain points, as long as you ask it somewhere in the conversation, the transcript's got it. And now we can push this out, right? I covered this in the class, but I could just say reformat to a table. Sometimes a table is easier to see. And so I just like it nice and tight. And then you can just paste this into a PDF, put your logo on it, whatever it is. But I hope you see the value in this. I'm going to check on the time. We're doing good. Okay, now I've got to talk to these people, right? Now we've got a short or a long list, and now I've got to reach out to them. So what do I share? Similar to the question I started with, what are you sharing, right, on LinkedIn? Well, let me see here. Let me go to the best place to look. The best place to look is here. Let me bring up Comcast. Look up your client. If you're new to a company, look up your company. Okay. And just type in like Comcast careers. Right. Or Comcast careers. Remember what I said? This is amazing information, right? There's information out here. I was afraid this was going to happen. Let me switch over. Okay, so this is a Comcast video. I'm going to use Harpa because remember, AI follows me with these tools. I can say, I love this. My favorite word of the year is repurpose. Repurpose this video. Now it's going to the transcription. Once again, transcriptions is key. Now I can say, make a blog post. I wouldn't make a blog post, but you could. I just want to show you what it can do. And oh, you know what? You can't see this. You were not able to see this. Why? You're seeing, what are you seeing? My bad. There it is. Okay. I'm on the YouTube. Sorry. I'll edit that out. I'm on a YouTube video. Okay. Here's a video. I got Harpa. Let me start over. Clear. Okay. I'm on a video for the first time. I can just repurpose this video. It's parsing the transcription. And I can say, yeah, make me a blog post, make it long. So here, while this is writing, you can see this. What you need to do is, why am I trying to post? Well, think about all the data science people you've connected with over the years, whatever it is your candidate audience is. A lot of us aren't the best writers, right? So what do I share? Well, you're going to go to the job description, you're going to go to the career page, and you're just going to lean on Harpa AI or Merlin or Max AI and say, create a nice email to someone who doesn't know the company, and it'll just create whatever it is you want, every day. For those of you who follow me, you'll know that let me see, Comcast News. Hopefully it's something horrible. So here's a Comcast News deal, right? I can just hit Harpa and hit short summary. Once again, I've kind of pre-programmed this. And so it gives me 2 bullet points right here. I could make it longer. I could clarify. I could do more. But right there, I could post it and put this as the comments, right? And you can just keep on having a conversation. I'm having a conversation with this article. And what I like about tools like Harpa is that I've got all these commands. First of all, it's got a lot of built-in commands. So you don't have to, I've got repurpose this page, summaries, explain, extract the data. You can do some of these things I have built myself, right? Like that Glassdoor auditor. Since these tools connect to your GPT or your AI, your personal one, I have all the stuff with me. I've got all my tools and they follow me, right? So there's my favorite TLDR. Too long, didn't read. And there it is. I just hit copy, shoot it over an email. No, I didn't read the article, but here it is. Or I can post it, right? So I can create a lot of content very quickly and not become the best writer. Larry, I don't like the way AI sounds. One of the biggest things I hear from recruiters, it sucks. I don't like it. It doesn't sound like me. In these tools, no matter what tool it is, in this tool, I could, let's see if I can do it. I wasn't ready for this. You can train it. Let's see here, Mimic. There's a cool thing called Mimic. Mimic my writing. So what you would do is you would talk, or what I would do when I'm training people, open up a mic or a Loom or however it is you record yourself on the phone and just start talking, start reading your emails and your replies. If you've done a podcast, in other words, I need about 1,000 words or more of you talking, right? And then get a Microsoft Word and create a question and answer style document. Like that way, what you do is you just upload it and this learns how you speak. right? It uses linguistics, not, and it finally gets it. Oh, I know how you speak. So at any time, I can just, if I don't like it, I just say, you know what, mimic my writing. Same thing with Chat GPT now. If I go to customize my Chat GPT, you can have instructions here. It's going to ask you for information. The more you tell it about yourself, the better your results are going to be. If you don't like the output of your AI tools, it's because you don't have the proper prompt. Okay. Don't get mad at the tool. You have to sit there and go, I'm not explaining it correctly. Okay. So whenever, like if I was frustrated and this wasn't coming out, don't get upset. Don't start doing it again. Don't get frustrated. Go back to your instructions. Okay. And then you can just use AI. You could just say, help me build a better prompt. What I'm trying, just talk to it like it's a peer. And it'll go, I got you. I can build you a better prompt. So when don't just jump in and expect immediate results. It's going to take some manipulation. It's going to take some practice. And yeah, I'm going to take a sip of water. All right. We have time to show you this here. So I'm not sure. I know on my side, on the outside, we have to come up with, I like to come up with collateral. I've got this, I spent all this time building criteria, sourcing. I've got automation and emails and in-mails and texts and videos. I want to make sure that my marketing is good. I want to make sure that if I do get them to click, the candidates I'm talking about, that they have something nice, right? Sometimes the client doesn't have the best stuff, right? Sometimes for whatever reason, we can't use it, right? So someone else built this. You can build it, but this is a GPT called Website Instantly. Okay. Let me make sure. Why? Okay. For some reason, sharing stopped. Okay. So now you can see this, right? I'll edit that out. But so this GPT, this area here is me. The little logo is it talking. So I asked it, create a professional landing page promoting a job at Comcast. I'm going to share with you a job description and the career page. It says, sure. So I gave it this link. Let's see what this link is. That didn't work. It was just a job, probably. Yep, it was just a job. And then I also shared with it and it found it. Oh yeah, Comcast. I get the job. And I said, oh yeah, make sure. And I found the link that kind of goes over the AI team. Cool. It's writing. Oh, and I forgot. Here's the About Us section on Comcast. So I've shared 3 links. Great. In 60 seconds, it did this. It built this page. I can do some basic web development. This would have taken the weekend. Okay. There it is. And obviously, here's job details, created a page with the job details, took the responsibilities, qualifications. So this is done by a company called Pixel AI, right? That's what they do. It literally, I was shocked that it made it so fast, right? And so obviously you probably wouldn't want, it to say Comcast if you're external, but I mean, it's not hard to change this, right? Everything works. I'm sure they're going to want me to upgrade, but we're talking, 10, 20, 30 bucks. That's not bad. How many of you have outsourced your marketing materials to someone that just makes these pages? Oh, Henry makes great pages. We pay him $1,000. Yeah. Henry's not going to have a job because this did this in 60 seconds. Okay. Yes, you're going to have to go in here and change it, but yeah. So that's when they say AI is taking your jobs. Simple things like websites, making email sequences, videos. That's for those of us who know how to do this, and hopefully you're included in that. You can crank this stuff out and just create more value for your clients and make it a better experience, right? What else? I I had one other thing I was going to show you. Oh, yes. So this is another free GPT called Diagrams. And I just paste this information from a spreadsheet. It says Mike Edison, Director, Payments, right? I paste it and it made this org chart in about 10 seconds. Wow, that's pretty cool. I'm a visual learner. I do make very detailed org charts for my clients and for my research. So mine are better than this, but what a great visual, right? How many of you are like, man, I've got to create this. That's fine. That's pretty cool. I guarantee you every month they're coming out with new things and they're connecting. And that's why I want you to understand the basics. If you don't understand, you're having a conversation. You need to give it context. You need to understand how to build prompts. You can do a lot of things now. Okay. And if you don't, you're going to be left behind. You're going to be doing this manually when you could be with your family, when you could be doing other things, getting more clients, whatever it is you do, you're going to be doing right click, paste, formatting when these tools can go like that. So anyway, ask questions, go to the link. I do have the training to get you up to speed. I'll put a link in there. Contact me, engage in the community, and have a great week.